Israel is playing chess and Donald Trump is playing checkers. And he ain't even good at checkers. He'll probably lose at checkers. Israeli butt puppet and overall sellout Donald Trump has sold out the American people. The chemtrails are increasing. We're being mass poisoned. The mass media are pathological liars and paid shills that don't tell you anything. And we're being poisoned to death on a daily basis via chemtrails, and they're just increasing and increasing more and more. So, you know, when they spray, I noticed that it traps the moisture and heat in. So what you get is almost like a blanket of chemicals, like a layer of chemicals that traps the heat and moisture in closer to the Earth's surface of where us, humans are that need to breathe. So you're actually, the quality of the air is so toxic, it's beyond belief. You could literally walk outside and drop dead. Like, that's how toxic the air is. It is so toxic, it's unbelievable. And people are, like, literally going outside and taking a walk. They're like, ooh, it's not raining today. Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna go out and enjoy the nice weather. The air is so toxic, it could kill you. I'm not even kidding. I am very susceptible to environmental toxins, and I am like hyper aware of toxins, and I can tell. You cannot breathe. You start getting disoriented. You have to understand, what they are spraying is strontium, barium, aluminum. Those are all metals, and every single one of them is toxic. I've also read they're spraying out different biological agents, viruses. Some people have said Morgellons disease. Nothing they're spraying out is good for human health. Not one thing. People are saying they're spraying out drugs like lithium. I wouldn't put that past them either in these disgusting death cocktails. So you have to understand that on the days that it's nice out, they generally just sprayed the day before, and all those chemicals are slowly floating down to the ground. And then it gets trapped in there because there's like a it feels like a blanket, like there's a blanket holding it down. So the moisture and you've got moisture, bacteria, metals, a totally toxic concoction that you are breathing in, and it's almost like trapped right around the Earth's surface, the houses, the people. It's trapped there. There are no bugs. There are no bees. The trees are all dying. The trees are supposed to be blooming at this time of year. Open up your eyes, people. It's not rocket science. This stuff is poison. I don't care for what reason they are spraying it. The original lie they came up with was global warming. That is a complete fallacy. It's a farce. It's a lie. It's not true. It doesn't exist. They made that up so that people would not complain about why are they spraying, what are they doing, this and that. They needed a reason. They needed, oh, we're just saving you all. Oh yeah, we're really just saving you all. Then I see other things. Oh, a planetary system is moving into our atmosphere, or something's going on, it's coming into our atmosphere. What does that have to do with why they're spraying? If something cataclysmic was supposed to happen, then just let it happen. That means it was God's will and it should happen. What does that have to do with why you're spraying out toxic chemicals? Okay, if something was moving into our atmosphere, just let it be there. Is that more toxic than this David Keith death dust that you're spraying every day? More and more and more and more. And they started spraying it right at the time when all the other pollens would come out. So not only do you have all these bacteria, toxins, metals, diseases, viruses, mix that in with a bunch of pollens from the small amount of trees that actually are blooming, and there are some, because I have seen some. Most of them are dying, but some of them are blooming. On the off chance that they let that fake sun simulator come out, then some of the trees have bloomed. But anyway, what I want to get into is I'm going to give you some links so you can do your own research. You don't have to take my word for it. I found this really awesome channel. His name is Mike Morales, and I'll list the link in the description box. Okay, now this guy, oh my God, it is so awesome. He does such a good job. He shows you the spraying operations worldwide, so you can see the magnitude of what is actually going on right now. And this is only a fraction of this is only one piece of a whole puzzle that's going on right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to list some links in the description box. I would suggest you do your due diligence and study these links. Now, Mike Morales, okay, he does a broadcast almost every night, and he goes over globally everywhere where they're spraying, and he shows you what they're up to and what they're doing. And it's very sinister, okay? It's extremely sinister. So you have to watch his broadcast. I would suggest watching it every single night to keep you updated on what is going on in your area and all over the world, so you know exactly what is going on. Then, so my two favorites, I would say, are Mike Decker, who he zooms in on the actual people flying the planes, spraying the chemicals, and he shows you what airlines are spraying these chemicals out. So they're both named Mike. So we have Mike Decker, who shows you the planes, and we have Mike Morales, who almost every night he does a broadcast and he shows you exactly what they're doing. This is very important for you to know what is going on. And again, this is only one piece of a whole grand scheme puzzle that's going on. I'm also going to list a link for this guy who's exposing some of this stuff. His name is, his channel is called No More News, but it's not no, N-O, it's no, K-N-O-W, No More News. But I'll put the link down in the description box so you can just look, you can research it for yourself. So, the mainstream media, like I said, is just a distraction at this point in time from what is really going on. So most of these people, even some of the bigger outlets that aren't mainstream, are also being used for distraction purposes. So I believe it looks like a lot of them are also in on it, because they won't say a word about what I'm talking about. So either they were instructed not to. I don't know. I don't know what's going on exactly, but they will not mention a word about anything. I don't know if they're under like a gag order, or I don't know what the deal is, but this isn't just like some made up thing, okay? Because people are getting their hair tested to see if they have these chemicals in their system and these metals, and they're all coming up totally astronomical, through the roof. Mike Decker, you can look on his channel. He films the planes, but he posted up his hair test and all the metals that were in it. So it's not like oh, they told us that and they're just, fear mongering, and they're trying to, and they made it up and that's a lie too. No, people are going and they're getting tests. They're testing the water, they're testing the soil, they're testing their own body, and they're finding that everything that people said in these videos are in their body. Okay, so this is not just some made up thing. This is very real, and that air that you're breathing every day is so insanely toxic. It's mind-boggling. I mean, it's poison. Every time you step out of your house, you're breathing in this poison. We're all breathing it in. It's toxic as hell, and it can and will kill you. I guarantee you that. It might take 10 years. It might take 15 years. It might take 3 months. It might take 6 months. It depends on your immune system. And, if you're detoxing and you're doing other stuff. But this stuff is so bad for your health. It's mind-boggling. And some of these elements that they're dropping from the sky they're carcinogens. And if you knew all of the other capabilities of this stuff, such as 5G, that they just rolled out without anyone's consent, these are military-grade weapons that they have installed with no one's consent. They just rolled it out and bam, it was there one day. We look up, oh, what's that 5G tower doing there? No one consented to that. How did that get there? Why are all these things being done without anyone's consent? Well, control. Control is the name of the game. The streetlights, the 5G towers, the drones. Put the pieces together. These are very dangerous weapons that can be used against us at any time, and it's not a good situation. So I don't like to get into fear mongering. I only try to speak on what I actually do know and see in front of me. I research this all the time, and the more I keep digging, the more and more frightening it gets. So I'm gonna list some sites that I found that seem to be totally legit. They're just getting right to the point and giving facts. A lot of these channels. Another one that I really like is Israeli News Live. They are totally awesome. They are Jewish, but I believe they are Christian. They're born Jewish, but I think they are Christian, and they're based in the US, and they speak out on all of these things. So I'll list that channel as well. They are awesome. They're putting the truth out. So, I notice like some of the channels, you can tell they're really like, they'll start being like, oh, and you have to accept Jesus as your Lord. They'll start getting into Jesus, and I'm like, this just seems fake. You can almost tell when it's just some fear-mongering doomsday channel, and they're just like, oh, and make sure you've got to accept Jesus into your heart. The world is going to end. Like, it's just some doomsday. I think those are plant channels to make it look like something's going to happen, to cover up from the actual evils that they are planning. They're trying to make, like, almost like a diversion tactic, like make it look like, oh, well, this was some natural occurrence that was going to happen anyway. That's what it's looking more and more like. So you guys can do your own research and draw your own conclusions. I think that's the best way to do it, because there's all kind of different stuff happening, and it's kind of hard to put the pieces together because you have to sift through what is planted there, what is real, which channels are, straight up and legit and telling you the truth, which channels are just fake planted channels by the powers that be to throw you off course. Then you also have to sift through every single comment, and they actually, I believe that they have plants that also, like bots, that also comment to confuse the masses even more. I think I even seen a video of someone else that said that, and I believe, I'm 100% sure that they do that. They have bots that, when the story is true and the person's giving the truth, the flat out truth, they have a bunch of people that will disagree with it and just be like, oh, that's a crazy conspiracy theory. These are all bots. I'm sure they're probably paid bots to confuse people. Remember, the devil is the author of confusion. So you have to sift through all of this nonsense and come to your own conclusions. It's good to kind of listen to a variety of different channels and conflicting viewpoints, and then just come to your own conclusion from there. I think that's the best way to do it. So anyway, pay attention to what's going on right now. I mean, it's like we're living in one big mental asylum. It's like a horror show, a horror film. So keep your eyes peeled as much as you can if you're into the weather and this type of thing, which, I mean, everyone should be watching this right now because it's very serious. There's nothing else that is of importance if you're going to be dead. I mean, kind of has to take precedence. So I'll list these links in the description box, and like I said, I would watch Mike Morales' broadcast every night. It's super informative and interesting. And it's just straight facts. I mean, he's using satellites to show you, so it's not like it can't be disputed, okay? So, oh, and there's this other guy I found. Oh my God, he's so good. His name is Jim Lee, and he breaks down in some of his videos, he gives you a list of the different weaponry that they have available and how they can be used. Talks about HARP and these different laser weaponry. He shows the different weapons and how they can be used, and it's all intertwined with the 5G, the chemtrail spraying. It's all interrelated, okay? So what I'll do is, they're all in my subscriptions also. You should be able to see my subscriptions, but there are certain channels I want you to just focus on, that this way you'll get, you'll be able to learn and figure out and see for yourself what's going on. Yeah, so I don't know, we're living in a horror film right now. It's unbelievable, the amount of evil that is going on right now.